Sad story to talk about this morning, and I'm going to try to be. These men out here, there's men out here who are woman killers, and this is a crazy thing, man, because this is a rising behavior. It's close to home in this particular case because I'm affiliated with people connected to a young lady in Toronto whose name I won't say because I wasn't given permission to say her name, and I always ask permission because I don't want to re-traumatize people. But Harold, why'd you do it, bro? Harold Santana Simon, he was arrested for the slaying of a 20-year-old girl. A 20-year-old girl, okay? Harold's about 27 himself. The background story is Harold was dating not the 20-year-old girl. He was dating another young lady who lived or hung out with the 20-year-old girl, 30-year-old woman. He's dating this young lady, and basically the background is the young lady who was murdered, who had basically no affiliation with Harold, was sleeping over at her house. And Harold had a key. And he found his way into the house, and somehow, and the details have yet to be disclosed in full, he shot that young lady, beautiful young lady, in the bloom of her life at 20 years old. He shot her 5 times. 5 times. And there's the 2 things I wanted to talk about today. Number 1, I want to talk to women who choose to date Harolds. I want to talk to women who choose to date Harolds, and I want to talk to the Harolds. Let's talk to these men first. There's a young generation of men who have gone well past the men of the 70s, who they got upset with a woman, they gave her a slap, they punched her, they assaulted her, and they felt that was being a man. Well, that is the least of our concerns now, because these young psychopaths, they're not giving you a slap, they're not knocking you out, they're not even breaking your jaw, they're not dragging you by your hair, they are shooting you down. Shooting you down. I have 3 daughters. Imagine, today's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday tomorrow. I'll call you in a minute. But imagine hearing that your daughter was shot 5 times by a man who was not even her boyfriend, by a man who was not even connected. Because, and this is the issue now where I switch it over to women, how are you dating these kind of men? It's very clear that the Harolds of this world are individuals who are involved in things that shouldn't be around you. You're not dating them because of their character. You're not dating them because of their looks. You're dating them because Harold probably has a bag, an illegal bag, and you want connection to the bag because you've been told it doesn't matter about a guy's looks, doesn't matter about his character, it matters about the bag. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he gets the bag. It matters if he can give it to you. And you have affiliated yourself with a psychopath. The second part of that is you're not even warning your girlfriends who might want to hang out at your house, who might want to sleep over at your house, that you have a psychopath boyfriend who might walk in here at any time and light the place up. That is the craziness of this particular story, is that you can be hanging out, you can send your daughter to go hang out with somebody else, an older person, somebody who's supposed to be more mature, more level-headed, and that person has affiliated herself with gangsters. And there's an affiliation now that I find that there's a lot of young girls who really like thug life culture. They like thugs. They want that in their life. And you got to ask yourself why. Why are you so attracted to the thug life? What's got your attention from thug life? And the answer is very simple. Fast money, easy money. Guys who like to spend, guys who show their manhood by spending money to acquire women. And there we have the problem. The acquisition of women through money. And the thing is, It's costing some women, some young girls, their lives. It's costing some young girls their lives. Get this thing tighter. And it's scary. It's scary to the point that there's brothers out there who are so cold-blooded that they don't care. They'll shoot a girl. They'll shoot a child, because that's what she was. She's 20 years old. That's a kid. That's a little kid. That's a little kid. Harold's 27 years old, allegedly. But a 20-year-old girl's a little kid. She still lives with her mom. She still hasn't done anything in her life of notoriety. She hasn't graduated from college. She's a child. She's playing dress up, probably. She probably looks like a grown woman, but that's a baby. And so they're not just killing a woman. It's not just a woman that he killed. He killed a little kid. He basically killed a little kid. And he didn't do it in a way that even is fathomable. 5 bullets for a girl, bro. Wild. It's wild. So how are these guys created? That's my next thing. Who creates Harold Santana Simons? Where did they go wrong? People want to say, and we say this really way too quick, and I don't want to be insensitive about it, because as a man who, is exposed to a lot of men who go through stress-related mental illness, I call it that, because you just call it mental illness, you kind of take away the fact that it's stress-related mental illness. A lot of guys shut down. A lot of guys give up. A lot of guys can't take the pressures of being adulted. A lot of guys can't keep the pressure, especially black men, about being treated unfairly in a Western world. They can't take that pressure. They can't take police hostility. They can't take unfair treatments by certain legislative bodies. They can't take that there is a disproportionate amount of power given to women in domestic scenarios. They can't take it, and they break down. But this isn't Harold. This is not Harold. There's a different kind of sickness when you have the murderous mindset to kill children and women. You're a different dude now. You're not a guy just dealing with stress. You're not a guy just dealing with stress. You have something that has twisted, that has broken in your brain, that you're walking around every day thinking that this is an option. Remember, this is not a love battle. This is not a love squabble. This young lady was not even connected to her murderer. She had nothing to do with this dude. Of course, and many women might identify this. Your girlfriend's ex busts into the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's not supposed to be there. She knows he's not supposed to be there. What are you going to do? You're going to try to defend your girl a little bit. But to have him respond by shooting you 5 times and not touching the girl he actually came there to see. Unbelievable. They caught Harold. He had a bail hearing, I believe it was yesterday. They found a way to catch him. Toronto police is the best police in the world. I tell people, don't play around Toronto. When they want to catch you, they're going to catch you, boy. Don't mess around in Toronto. When Toronto police want you, they really want you, they're going to come get you. So you ain't going to kill people and just disappear in Toronto. You gotta wake up real early to get away with that over here. Because those police ain't playing. We have things in place that folks don't even understand yet. So I don't understand who makes Harolds. And when you've got, and listen, I've got 3 boys. I know their minds. I know the minds of all my 3 sons. I know what they have the capacity to do. I know their potential. When you somehow have given birth to one that's got he's got a few screws loose, you're very accountable. You got to be accountable about that kid now. You got to be very accountable, because Harolds don't become Harolds at 27. They become Harolds at 16. They become Harolds at 14. You identify them at 10, 11 years old. Just like you identify an NBA player. You can identify if you got a bad little kid who has a predilection to cut the tails off of puppies. You can figure out if you've got a Harold at a very young age. So you've got to be in a position now, where you can identify there's something wrong with this kid. And a lot of parents don't want to take the responsibility of that, right? They don't want to take the responsibility of these guys who are basically murderers from the womb. And let me tell you something, that's a hard thing to face, but you know if you've got a little psychopath living in your house. You do. You can be honest enough to look around. You can see how this kid carries himself. You can see his deportment in school. You can understand by the music he's listening to. You can figure it out by the friends. You can figure it out by the habits. You can figure it out by the fact that this dude is doing nothing with his life and he's dragging his way through life. And you know that you have the potential for a psychopath in your bloody house. You know that. And then this is the crazy part, because I put a picture of the brother up there. If you're a young lady with any kind of desire or any kind of desire for any success, or with a goal-oriented woman, I don't care how old you are, from 20 to 80, why do you want heralds in your life? Why do heralds have keys to your house? Why do you accept gifts? Why do you want to have children with heralds? Because herald's going to approach you. Every young girl out here, you're going to have heralds to come for you. Heralds are going to come and say, hey, girl. Herald's going to come and say, hey, babe. Herald's going to come and say, yo, come here, let me talk to you. You're going to have a lot of heralds running around you. And if you have something in your head where you think that these doughboys, that these little stick-up kids, right, these little robbers are going to come and bring the bag back to you, and therefore you should date them because you're going to get this fast money, you're making everybody around you, putting everybody around you in a dangerous circumstance, and including yourself. It's terrible. It's crazy. And secondly, we've got to change the culture of these young girls that want to hang out and make this lifestyle their life. We got to change that particular culture 100%. You know, and let me tell you something. You can't blame these two young ladies that much, because they're buying into a culture that's already set in front of them. How many women right now, good girls who are not doing anything wrong with their life, but how many of them right now, how many women right now will raise their hand and say, and you're gonna hate when I say this, because you like to go to dance hall parties. Yeah, I'm gonna throw dance hall under the bus, because a dance hall party is a shooting waiting to happen most of the time. Yeah, I said it. I can say it. I go to a soca fete. I am not worried about being shot. It's not that type of atmosphere. I go to a hip hop party, and I'm concerned. I go to a hip hop party, a young hip hop party. I can get out the parking lot and see the dudes in the parking lot, and I know what's up. I'm a kid from the hood too. I know particular environments are conducive for shootouts. So but this is my thing. Some girls like that atmosphere. I've talked to many of them. I remember I had a friend of mine, she's a Toronto girl too, used to put parties on, and I would see her Instagram, and I'd be like, I was like, how come you didn't invite me to this party? She said, these are hood parties. I know you don't want to come. I said, you're right. You're so right. I've seen the party. I'm looking like, you feel comfortable in this party? She's like, yeah, I like the music. I like this kind of atmosphere. And this is the thing. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But young girls, young pretty girls, they like dangerous atmospheres. A lot of them. Keith is saying, facts. I grew up with guys in the neighborhood who are doing life sentences, and as I look back, you could tell. Thank you, Sultan. Appreciate you, brother. You could tell they were a little off, and the parents had to see. The parents had to see that, man. The parents had to see that. Appreciate you, Sultan's blessings, brother. Okay. I really wanted to say this young girl's name because I wanted to say rest in peace, because she's an example of people caught in the crossfires of toxic nonsense. This is not, and let me get this straight, because we're going to get a lot of women out here saying things outside of the context of what this is. This isn't toxic masculinity. This is evil. This is broken men. Okay? These little hood murderers, these guys are not, they can't even put them in the category of men. You, as a man, you don't need to shoot a girl at all. You don't need to show a girl a gun. A man doesn't need to do that. But to shoot a little girl 5 times, and the girl's not even the girl you came there to holler at, that came there to terrorize. You bust into a place at 5 o'clock in the morning, yeah, you'll be like, yo, where you been? How come you ain't answering my calls? Whatever. And of course, there's going to be her girlfriends there saying, why don't you get out of here? Get out of here. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then you decide to shoot the girl 5 times. I don't know if that's what happened. But it probably something close to that, because the girl's not going to just roll over and let the man terrorize her girlfriend. But the fact that you decide to shoot effectively a non-factor in your relationship 5 times. 5 times. Jeez, bro. Lit her up. I don't know if it's 5 times or 3 times, but it's multiple gunshots. I heard 5. Don't know if that's accurate, so I apologize if I've been embellishing. I heard 5 from people connected. They told me she was shot 5 times, so that's why I'm using 5. So if that was not the case, I apologize to the family. Like I said, I don't want to re-traumatize people, which is why I'm not using her name. I haven't gotten permission to use her name. This has affected a lot of people's lives, though. This young girl was connected to other people, to other young girls. Other young girls are running around here not feeling safe now, not recognizing, like, yo, my life could be over so quickly. Because somebody was simply careless in who they decided to bring into their life. And if you are one of these young ladies that likes these hood Negroes, you need to let your girls know, bro, you don't want to sleep in my house, baby. Well, you know what? We should drive in separate cars. Right? Yeah, like if he comes around, just like go somewhere, because he's not good with people. You gotta manage your own rabid dog. Right? Don't put that on us. Don't put that on other people. And if you know you got a girlfriend who hangs out with that population of men, you need to make sense out of nonsense and be like, I'm not hanging around her. Let this be a lesson. And it's terrible that the death of a beautiful, you should see this little girl. This girl's a beautiful girl. Has to become now a lesson for other young ladies. It's crazy. 20 years old. How much life do you have to live? How much life do you have to experience? How many things do you have to do now with your life that you could be doing? And you're dead? We know, man. Everybody, every dude knows Harold's. We know those guys. We see them. Bro, you're not going to school today? Nah, bro, I'm just hanging out today. All right. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, you know Harold's. You know those dudes. You know the little Unabomber guy that's like, oh, this guy here, boy. I know these kids. The kids know them. They're like, have you seen this guy's Instagram? They'll tell you. They'll say, Coach, have you seen this kid's Instagram? I'm like, no, what's on his Instagram? Coach, it's crazy. He's got some crazy stuff on his Instagram. And so you know who those dudes are. They walk around a little disturbed. You know them. And God forbid they get a crush on a little girl in school, because you have no idea what's going to happen. These guys are groomed from early. And me personally, that's something the guidance counselor should be writing down. Be like, yo, listen, this is a guy that there should be wellness checks. There should be wellness checks on this kid. There should be air tags on his phones, because this kid is definitely dangerous. And I'm sorry if that sounds like profiling, but it is. But until these guys readjust and get back into the framework of normality, you got to keep your eye on some of these guys, man. I'm telling you, and it's not one ethnicity. It's not just black guys. It is every ethnicity. I've seen a lot of Asian kids like this. I've seen a lot of East Africans in this scenario too. I'm going to say the country because I don't want to be xenophobic about particular cultures. But I've seen them. I know where they live. I know where they hang out. And I don't want to be around them because they'll pop off. This is the thing that people don't understand. I'm here lifting weights, getting strong, trying to have a physique, trying to go out and be like, if I got to take care of myself on the street, I know I can take care of myself on the street. These dudes are not, these dudes are 125 pounds, okay? They got a gun in their hip. They're standing there quiet, and all they can think about is running up on you and firing. They're shooters. They're not coming to give you a square up. They're not coming to give you a fair one. And they don't care who they shoot. Shooters shoot. Period. We have a lot of undiagnosed psychopaths walking around. We absolutely do. I tried to befriend one of these type of kids in school to keep them grounded. Don't do it to yourself. Nah, buddy. I want to know who you are, but I want to know what side of the playground you're on so I can be on the other side. That's it. I ain't trying to keep you grounded. I'm trying to make sure if you reach for your waist, I can throw a rock at your head or something. No, these are the kind of guys, and I say this kind of stuff, and people lose their mind, but these are the kind of guys where I say everybody needs a gun. Because these dudes want power over weak people because they're weak. That's what it is. And because of their sense of weakness, they now need to have some level of power over the weak. Men who kill women, men who kill children are weak-minded. And they wanted to exercise a sense of power over somebody because maybe people exercise power over them. And they wanted to somehow find a way to reclaim that power that men should have. Men should be powerful. Men should have power. Absolutely. But when it's not been given to you, you now look for the lowest level of the totem pole to snatch it back. And it's a dangerous world now that we're living in. Because this is not a scenario where this is an allegation. Like, this is not an allegation. The man was identified at the scene. Okay? Guns got his prints on it. They followed him to another location. This is academic. This is not a scenario where they found this guy a year later. They found him days later, a day or so later after the incident. He's being identified by the ex on the scene. You know who the guy is. And to the family of Harold, my condolences to you, to his friends that didn't want this to be his life. My condolences to you. This is our spot. This is our city. This is our community. My condolences to you. And my question is, bro, didn't you know this dude had the capacity to be like this? And dudes who do befriend them and try to keep them grounded, understand what you're dealing with. Warn his baby mama, warn his potential girlfriend, be like, girl, this guy's on one tonight. Are you home? Yo, don't be around this guy tonight. This guy's not acting properly tonight. Trust me, go to your mother's house. Don't be around. This guy's talking crazy. You are responsible too. And let me tell you something. I'm speaking from experience. I've had a lot of evil stuff done to me by women. Real evil things done to me by women that I loved. And let me tell you something. Never in my right or unright mind have I thought to myself, let me go get a gun and shoot. Let me go get a gun and shoot this girl. What? Not even in my most devious of mindsets am I thinking, yeah, let me go shoot this girl. Are you out your mind? No. There's as a man, you've got to be like, I'm gonna look so good the next time you see me. Woof. I'm gonna cut my hair. I'm gonna build my body. I'm gonna build my success ratio. The next time you see me, you're gonna be like, oh wow, I should have gave him a chance. I shouldn't have done that to him. Men don't think like that. Period. They don't think like that. It's a different mindset in us, right? And like I said, I can speak from experience. Maybe, that young lady did something terrible to Harold, and Harold felt he needed to go over there blazing. but it wasn't the girl he shot. She had nothing to do with it. She had zero to do with anything you had with the issue with this other girl. She had nothing to do with it. But why are you going there with a gun for a woman? This stuff. This is the stuff that has women online talking a lot of things. Violence against women is a real thing. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm absolutely not going to say it's not. It's a real thing. And this is why legislation swings the pendulum so far. Because heralds make legislators say, oh wow, well we've got to do more to protect women. You've got to do more to identify heralds. Because Harold's not just dangerous to women. He's dangerous, period. So, wow. Let me see what else you got here. It's called, Am I My Brother's Keeper? That's it, bro. That is it. That is it. Am I my brother's keeper? Because, yo, listen, the thing about men, especially like urban cultured men, even suburban guys, you're always going to have the little strange dude. You're always going to have that little weird dude. And you know what? That little weird dude might have some skills. He might be a great artist. He might be a track star. He might be a basketball player. He might be a baseball player, right? He might be something. He might be something that makes him unique to you. He might have protected you when you guys were in kindergarten from getting beat up. And he's just a little weirdo right now. And but you and him are cool, bro. Listen, if you are your brother's keeper, try to lead him. Bring him to church. Do something. Pray over him. Okay? Expand him to other things. Open up his mind to other realities. Redirect him from having weapons. Put him in a martial art. Do something with him. But clearly, Harold fell through the cracks, man. Harold fell through the cracks. It's easy to say, yo, you know, he's just this or he's just that. He's a young boy that grew up to be a man that fell through the cracks of our culture, right? We lost Harold long before Harold killed somebody. Long before Harold killed somebody. And this is the scariest part, right? The police need to understand this. If Harold could kill a young girl so mercilessly, who else has Harold killed who you haven't found out about? That's the scariest part. Because if your first murder is not a 20-year-old girl. That's not your first murder. The ease of killing a woman is something that has been bred in you from the comfortability of killing other things or people before killing that little girl. You are literally an assassin type of mentality. A guy that says, I can kill anybody. You pay me, I'll kill him. So the fact that he can walk in and just light up a stranger demonstrates that he has been conditioned to kill and potentially has already killed people. That's the scariest part about Harold. Who's on the list? And, you know, broadcasting about that is a scenario where you got a lot of dudes now who put you on the radar because you say, well, you're talking about our boy. Man, listen, you're talking about our guy. I don't know, man. If you've got a network of killers, and Harold's one of them, and you're one of these networks of killers, you need to rethink your life, man. You need to rethink what you're doing with yourself. Because if you're a shooter, let me talk to the shooters. Let me talk to the men out here, the raw men out here who are shooters. Bro, you still need a code. You still need a code. You need a code. And the code has always been, you don't kill girls. You don't kill children. They're off limits. And anybody in your squad, anybody in your little clique who breaks those rules, he's a violator. Because all you little dudes are going to be out here with your chick. You're going to be out here with your kids because you're going to breed up a little girl. and you're gonna have men around you who have no boundaries, that they could kill your girl, they could kill your child because they have beef with you? No, bro. The street even has a code. And if Harold's your boy and you're upset that I'm talking about your boy violated. Your boy violated. And if you don't have a code, you're a psychopath. Because there's a code. You don't do that. This is why they differentiated the organized, they call it organized criminals, organized crime, mafiosa, and yakuza and posse gangs, because they have a code. They're not just randomly going out here murdering anyone recklessly. They have a code. And you know, you break your code, it's your life. Prison ain't gonna keep you because you're a code breaker. They even have that code in jail. How do they deal with pedophiles in prison? These are men in jail. They have a code. How do you deal with women killers in prison? They have a code, bro. So you can't tell me that on the street, when you're free, you don't have a code. You don't do that. That's a violation, right? And this is the thing about men. Men had a code. You don't mess with your man's girl. That was a code. Oh, that's my brethren's girl. That's his baby mom. We don't mess with her. Leave her alone. That's a code. You Negroes break that code too. And men who break codes should be dealt with. Because if you're out here trying to kill little girls, if you're out here trying to kill women, real men should deal with you. Sorry. That's it. That's how it works. Real men should deal with you. You should be like, bro, I'm sorry, but you broke code, bro. And you know. You violated. Period. Listen, I'll tell you a lot. I'll tell you this right now. Code breakers, guys who violate, forgiveness is for the church, but it's definitely not for the street. That's not how it works. Forgiveness is for God. Jesus forgives, boy. The street does not. Violators. And man, it's crazy. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm just gonna say, rest in peace. Rest in peace. I'm not gonna say her name because I haven't been given permission to say her name. But Harold, the law's gonna land on you, brother, and depending on how this thing works out, you know, you need to ask God for mercy. You need to talk to God about mercy, because I know right now there's not a member of that young lady's family or affiliation that wants mercy for you, and it's a shame. You shouldn't have gone there. Why'd you do it, Harold? This is Del K. Brampton. This is The Real Spiel. It's the Shiloh Institute. Stand up. Violence against women. It's never an option. It's never an option. It's never an option. These hands have never touched one. These hands are for prayer and for Harold's. Talk to you soon.